We are officially live from the second NCBB playoff semifinal. This time we're featuring the number 1 ranked UNAM Pumas Malditas and the number 4 ranked St. Louis Billikens. So on one side we've got Meno Loco, very established NCBB coach, has title game experience, not exactly the good experience that he would prefer, but he's been to the title game, he's got a damn good team, and he's ready to make his mark on the league once again. On the other side, we've got Fool and his High Elf team, tops in the league in touchdowns scored with 28 total, if I recall. So, very good High Elf team. Blodge, some sidestep. Not a ton of stats, a couple movements, a little bit of Mighty Blow, some good throwers. But when you have someone like Benhas Darama, Agility 4, Mighty Blow, Tackle, Block, Werewolf, and then his tag team partners, Movement 9, Agility 4, Block, Alfonso Martinez, those Werewolves are going to be a problem. Toss in a really good Ghoul. You've got effective Flesh Golems. The Whites do their job. Zombies are zombies. You got some dirty player. It's no small task to take down the undefeated Pumas. Looks like St. Louis will be kicking first. There's one inducement, just a simple Bloodweiser keg for UNAM, so pretty close in TV. We've got 2130 for St. Louis, 2080 for UNAM. Very sunny to kick off. Not that I expect a lot of passing on this drive, but if it stays, it could impact the High Elves a little bit. We do have another bowl game going right now. Regrettably, the Orange Bowl between Ottawa and Oregon also slated to start at the same time. So those two teams have kicked off maybe about 10 minutes ago. We'll try to keep an eye on how that game is going. Nelfine and Ottawa received the ball and started moving downfield. They already did 2 fouls in the first 2 turns. So, hey, freshman's going to volunteer to be our sideline reporter for that game. I appreciate it. Yeah, because those are 2 very good programs, 2 very good teams, and we would have loved to do commentary for that one as well, but apparently Sunday's a popular day for bowl games. I should mention, freshmen, that it's an unpaid position. Looks like a Werewolf caught the ball on the kickoff, and that's the one you want to catch it with. Was it a... I don't know what the result was. Either way, you've got your good ball-carrying Werewolf with it. Your other Werewolf couldn't get anything going on his block, but you got a stun, you got a knockdown. Mr. Jack Joyce is probably going to be hit here by somebody. Not sure we'll see a foul early on, though. Freshman isn't worried about money. No, he seems like a man who's got funds. Deep bankroll, dollar bills. There's a casualty in the Orange Bowl, an unskilled lineman badly hurt by a White. No surprise there. It's kind of what Ottawa does. I think both Garnack and Freshman are kind of watching this on Twitch and peeking in when they can. Both teams from the SCC conference, a very solid conference, a bunch of solid teams, but left out of the playoff picture, unfortunately. And no, TCU had a pretty solid season, ended up winning the conference with about 5 wins. If this standing page would load. There we go. Oh no. Florida won the conference. That's right, they had an undefeated conference record. 4-6-0, TCU 5-3-2, so very good seasons by both you gentlemen. Getting a blitz here with the Mighty Blow High Elf Blitzer. Nothing going on the white, though. Hopefully you can move backwards and get your Lino out of contact and give as few blocks as possible, because Necro's not a team you want to sit there and throw hands with. Maybe if you're Orcs or Chaos or somebody, but in general, that's not a recipe for success. I do think it's going to be a little tough for St. Louis to get a true shot on the ball. Their team is very solid, but they don't have any sacking archetypes on their team. They've got some tackle, they got some blodge, but I don't see a single wrestler. You know, there's not a leaper anywhere. They don't have any extra agility. So they're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. You know, for elves, they can still dodge in somewhere on a 3 or a 4, depending on the tackle zones. It's got the field covered on both sides pretty evenly, so we'll see where Menno decides to go with it. While we have a second, I can take a look at the other bowl games that have been completed so far. We've had maybe 3. The first the first game of the penultimate championship McNurgle series was played earlier today between BYU and the Grunts of Army. That's Swampy's team versus Timar's Orcs. And the Bretonians somehow, someway managed to take that game late 2-1. I saw the Orcs scored around turn 6 of the second half to tie it up, and then I looked away, and then all of a sudden, BYU got the dub. So if anyone's unfamiliar with the changes to the McNurgles Bowl this season, we decided to do a 4-team reverse playoff between the 4 worst teams in the league. So the losers of the 2 semifinal games will go on to the championship game. So Army, unfortunately for them, will be advancing to that game to play the loser of Navy and the Fighting Illinois 2020, which I believe were supposed to play earlier today, but that game did not happen. Valen overslept or miscommunication or something. So eventually we'll get that game, and hopefully the fans will get what they deserve, desire, and need. And that is the Navy versus Army championship game for the McNurgles title. So Valen, if you ever see this or hear this, or just feel it in your soul, you must win that game. We love Einir, but we need him to be in the finals against Tim. Army and Navy, give us that storyline. That's what we need. What else have we had go on? The Waffle House Salty Bowl of Tears was between UTEP and Ohio Wesleyan. That's Jeffro's crazy pro-elf team and Rasmus's very solid, lovable, huggable UTEP Nurgle program. UTEP ended up winning 2-1 in a tight game. And I think the first bowl game was the TrollSlayer.com 7-0 Bowl. And that was between the Kentucky Wildcats and the Fresno State Raiders. It was a very grindy, slow 1-0 game between Wolves and Robo, where the Chaos Dwarves, the Kentucky Wildcats, ended up getting the victory 1-0. So congrats to the coaches who have won so far. And we have breaking news that tentatively the Fireball Fire Bowl will be at 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Or I'm assuming tomorrow, because 9 p.m. Eastern would be 8 o'clock Central, and it's already past 8 o'clock Central today. That's just my assumption. Oh, Wog's leaving me. Okay, Wog. Miss you. Oh, there's a nice hit there. Jack Joyce, the line of scrimmage fodder, decides to fight back and takes out a white. Regen does not work. Good old regeneration. You love it, you hate it. So far today, it's not been working very well. If anyone missed it, there was the other playoff semifinal not too long ago. That was number 2 John Molson, Uber's Nurgle squad, and my number 3 ranked California Lizard team, and the first 2 blocks of the game, or 2 of the first 3 at least, resulted in injuries and regen failed. And then there's a third injury later in the game on the ball carrier where it was another SI and regen failed again. So regeneration not doing its job today so far. Freshman reporting that the ball carrier is about to be hit in the Orange Bowl. So I'm assuming a ghoul from Ottawa still has it. Here we get a shot on another ghoul on the back side of the cage. Good old tackle. And another injury. Okay. I mean, I'm trying to be a little impartial here, but I have to give that a cheer. All of a sudden, the High Elves go from being down a player to up a player. They've got a couple roadblocks up here. Menno's advanced on the bottom side of the field, and now he's got to make a decision. Does he go back? Does he block everybody off and stay put? Does he try to go forward and rush for the touchdown? Oh, freshman reporting that the leaper snaked on his attempt to hit the ball. Unfortunate. Those sneaky ducks, I think they have at least 3 Agility 5 players, and I know 2 are leapers. They've slowly grown over the past couple seasons into terrifying players. Looks like Menno may elect to stay here a bit and block some High Elves. Generally, you don't want to push yourself to the sideline, especially too early. Teams that are not movement balanced, if that makes sense. You've got half your roster, the golems and the zombies, at movement 4 or slower in some cases. And then you've got movement 6 whites, the movement 7 ghouls, the movement 8 werewolves. So it's hard for the team to stay together, especially if you make a break for it. All of a sudden you go too far and your support's caught up on something, and then your players are exposed. So in this case, you are Necro, and so inviting the elves to the sideline can work out if you want to frenzy them into the stands. But you got to be careful of sidesteppers like this guy here, Erwin Clegette. And I'm assuming Menno was willing to take the risk of getting not a knockdown on the first block, because he would definitely be going into a 1-die block on the second, albeit he does have tackle. And Fool, a man of culture, decided to order a pizza somewhere along the way today and is going to have it delivered during the game, so perhaps for celebratory purposes. Oh wow, Menno going for the long distance sprint touchdown early. Oh no, I take everything back. Fool, a pineapple pizza, Oh, okay, we're gonna have some issues. Anybody who thinks pineapple is good on pizza is A, wrong, B, a monster. And it's just no, I can't put up with pineapple on pizza. I love pineapple and I love pizza. But when you combine the two and like it's baked in there, it's just awful. And thin crust. Oh my god, if you got thin crust and in pine, oh my god. The best part of a pizza is where the sauce and the crust meet. And like the cheese starts to fall off. You know, there's no more cheese and you get all the crust on the dough and the marinara sauce is right. It's so good. And when you have thin crust pizza, Garnak, I invite you whenever you're done playing cards or have a break to come in and defend yourself, but no. Thin crust pizza takes away from the crust and the sauce meeting. Like there's just nothing there anymore. You're taking away half the pizza, and you're probably paying the same price or more. So A, it's just bad economics. B, you're taking the worst part of the pizza. And 3, you probably have pineapples or something stupid on it. So no. Bad. Alright, back to the topic at hand though. Still early. Turn 3 score by UNAM. A little surprising. I mean, they did lose 2 players and 2 positionals, but They decide to go ahead and get the early score. Now they get a perfect D, but this is the kind of game St. Louis would prefer. They don't want to do the 8-turn defense against a Necro team that's very capable of hurting them. You know, just grinding them down, going for the fouls. And then you just, like I said earlier, they don't have a lot of like wrestle or like leap ability to try to get in there and make a shot or take a shot on the ball. But since UNAM either was forced to score early or chose to score early, they're playing into St. Louis's game plan, where you've got your two very good throwers back there. You've got accurate, sure hand, strong arm on one, strength 4, accurate, sure hands on the other. Granted, you've just locked everybody up thanks to perfect defense, but if he can break through somehow, you've got nothing back here. It looks like you may be leaving Alfonso, but, well, maybe not. Nope, definitely not. Okay, so he's going to try to win the game here, essentially. I mean, granted, Elves, even if Menno did go up 2-0, the game's certainly not over, but if you can force the Elves to fail something and then start to pressure them, and all these guys are tied up here, and you can somehow get a defensive score and go up 2-0. It's very good play. But if you surrender a score because you get outflanked or somebody just breaks through or something bad happens and all of a sudden it's 1-1 and they get the ball for the second half, that's certainly not the position UNAM wanted to be in this playoff semifinal. Aggressive, right? Looks like Juggernaut's joining us in the Twitch chat. At least we can agree about Thin Crust, Garnack. I'll give you a little bit of props for that. Either about to learn a lot or learn something that you shouldn't do. I mean, that's the beauty of watching Blood Bowl. You can see mistakes or see things you can learn from without having to make those mistakes yourself, for example. This is not a defense I would suggest using in most cases. Obviously, this is something the Menno probably doesn't do often, but with the perfect defense and, you know, a solid team, you could probably get away with it, but we're going to find out. Aggressive reroll there. And I'm not sure what it gives you. You're going for a gap here, but all you've done is create a 1-die block, and you're still tied up top. Okay, there's a successful pickup. Sideline reporter Freshman saying that the Ottawa scores on turn 8 after a gang foul with a bribe in hand. Oh, he did the gang foul on turn 8. Classic Ottawa. Not afraid of such things. I'm not sure it's a necessity, Garnack, to play this aggressive on defense. I mean, if your goal was to thwart the Elves and make it very difficult for them, you've kind of accomplished your goal. You've forced them to burn a reroll. They've moved several players already and just have one guy in scoring position, albeit he's so far forward it would be a little difficult to get the ball to him. So hopefully you take Dennis and put him maybe halfway in between, around column 8. Okay, that's fine. Since he's a sidestepper, that's safe too. At the bottom, you're tied up by double tackler. Also, if I was Menno, I may have switched the golems here, because this one did not have tackle, and neither does the werewolf. So if you had one tackle on each side, it might be better. And that's exactly what UNAM wanted. So while the High Elves kind of broke through, they've only got 2 players in scoring position. It cost them a reroll, and a lot of their players are still tied up. So we'll see if UNAM can get some blocks, get some blood flowing, and prevent an easy score here. Because that is the thing about Menno's strategy here. If Fool does all that effort to break through and get those two guys downfield and does a really long pass to them and gets a touchdown here in 2 turns. That's not the worst thing for Meadow, because that's just enough time for Necro to score in 3 to 4 turns before the half. He's got movement 9, he's got 2 AG4, and there's 1 injury, and that's a big one. Movement 9, tackle, block, catcher, that's a very nice piece to have. That's out for the rest of the game. Reports from the Orange Bowl suggest that Oregon sets up for a 1-turn touchdown, which Crichton is very capable of doing, but of course Ottawa gets a blitz and messes it up. Yeah, Garnack, I think I would have, or not Garnack, Garkangel, aka Gark. I think I would agree. Going for the Apothecary on the badly hurt. Not only is it a bowl game, it's a semifinal bowl game. So you got to win to keep going, obviously. Very good player. You have other catchers. There's a movement 7 guy with sidestep who's solid. There's the Lodge with tackle guy. But movement 9, that's your 1-turn threat, in theory. I mean, you have another sidestepper here with movement 8 you could use, but I don't know. You can make a case either way. And maybe, you know, another catcher gets hurt here soon and you need to use the Apothecary on him, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean, speed in general is the best thing High Elves would have for them in this matchup. Obviously, it's thwarted a bit when there's a movement 9, agility 4 werewolf, but, you know, beyond him, the other werewolf's not even movement 8 anymore. He's movement 7. You've already taken out a ghoul who's movement 7. You've taken out a white who's movement 6, so, yeah, the extra movement can certainly play a difference for the High Elves. Now, this is where Fool has to be careful. He's got 4 players locked up here, albeit none by tackle, and you have 2 dodgers. You're tempted to throw this block, but you need to move somebody down here. If Fool sees it, Irwin can make a great play. Alright, who's Irwin? Okay, Irwin's your Lodge Step catcher. What does Gark want him to do? Well, this probably isn't it. Yeah. If anything, you should have blitzed there, because that's a tackle against a ghoul. And now if you throw this block, yes, it's a 2-dive. Okay. What are we doing here? Okay, so we're clearing room for the catcher. And he marked the ghoul with tackle before he did anything. Okay. So we're going for the long distance pass and the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a 2, 2, 2, 2. Not to mention this difficult-ish pass. I mean, you have accurate, but that's a long pass in the sun. It's going to be, what, 4? Yeah. And he doesn't get it. You know, 4+ with the rerolls, what, 75%? So it's not crazy. I'm not in love with the idea. Granted, it's a free reroll. And then you have the free catch reroll, and then dodge for the 2+ here. So you only have to worry about the GFIs, really. So, I don't know. If you fail it like you do there, and you fumble the ball, it's deep in your backfield. Unless that ghoul just makes, like, a ridiculously difficult play, you're relatively safe next turn, but we'll see if it backfires in the long run. Looks like it is officially 1-0 at the half for Ottawa in the Orange Bowl. I think if you're meta, you definitely look for the surf here on Medina Diarra. And you're not going to get it with that block. Oh well. A little risky there, throwing the 2-die with the blockless zombie, but you know, sometimes zombies gotta you know, pull his own weight. Alright, that zombie's doing his job for sure. Gustava Clavatella. Not an easy name to say. Tries to go for the one die through the thrower. Interesting. Is he going for the touchdown? Well, he was trying, but Elron cannot quite make the play. Granted, now you have a sidestep blodger on the ball. Catcher is still technically within range. A lot of Fools players are marked up here, so the simple play would be dodge out here, hit the goal tackle, pick up the ball. You can throw it there in a 3+ with a reroll. I'm not in love with it, but I'm not sure you have a better option. Because the way this half has gone with the perfect defense, which is not ideal, but Fool did set up like pretty much on the entire line of scrimmage too, which is a huge no-no for offenses. You need to have some people back. It's a nice POW there on a ghoul. Alright, goes to the thrower that's already moved, which is a little unfortunate, but not much you can do there. And I think... I don't know. I think I may have left the tackler on the ghoul, but not really a great spot with that positioning. I don't know. The way you set up led to yourself being in a disadvantaged situation if he got the perfect defense, which he did. And then a lot of your team's been tied up on the line. Your catchers haven't really been able to separate and break free, and basically you're not pulling apart the Necro team. You see how they're all concentrated here. There's a couple guys down here, but then they're all free now. If you had a catcher here and a catcher near the bottom, and the ball's back here, and you have a couple elves spread out here, it's very hard for them to chase you all around the field. Like, that team is in general slow. You know, they're not quite shambling undead, but I mean that's essentially what they are, right? They've got a bunch of zombies and golems. They can't go very far, and they can't go very fast. Very clutch dodge there by Oscar Alvarez. And that positioning makes it difficult for Menno to do anything more than a -2 die on the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, he could get the werewolf over here, tag that guy, and do a 1 die on the ball. And outside of a skull, I mean, you know, odds are pretty decent it won't fail. No, that doesn't help. Double skull, but you reroll out of it. Speaking of rerolls, I heard somewhere in the chat, I guess read, that in Blood Bowl 2020, which is the upcoming rule set, you'll be able to use more than 1 reroll a turn, which is like mind-blowing, because that just changes everything. I'm not sure that's... It's not good for someone who's learning the game, because then they're tempted to just do a bunch of like silly shit and be like, oh, I have 5 rerolls, you know, if I use 3 in 1 turn, you know, whatever. But for those important plays where you need like the 3+ dodge to get out, and then the 2+ GFI, and then the 2 die on the ball, and you know, half the time you fail the initial dodge and you have to use the reroll there, but then you get pushes on the blitz, unlike this one where you get a casualty. I mean, having the like another reroll to reroll the hit on the ball, like that's literally game changing. And yeah, elves in particular are going to take big advantage of that. Luckily, I think Gark plays a couple of elven teams in the leagues we're in together. St. Louis in a bit precarious situation, and yes, he doesn't use the apothecary again. I know it's just a badly hurt, but this isn't, week 5 in the SMAC conference. This is the playoff semifinal. Like, you need to have all hands on deck to win this game. And now you have a catcher deep in the backfield, a blitzer deep in the backfield, a movement 7 catcher who's kind of like, you're going to blitz out of here in theory, but then you just get hit by the werewolf next turn. But we'll see if Fool can find a way out of this. And that doesn't help. And that doesn't help much either. Although you should have a 2-die here with the blitzer. But you really want to throw it with the catcher. Well, that's just a 1-die. So you've already used the reroll. I mean, it is just a 2+ dodge out. But you'd have to, like, blitz. Yep, there's... Just roll 6s, right? No zombie interception. Pass reroll works. Catch does not, and it goes right to the werewolf. Oh boy. That's not good. I'm not sure it's quite a GG. Even if Menno does score here, Fool gets the ball to start the second half. Uses the chain to push the werewolf free. It's very nice. The problem is, well, I guess he's fast enough. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're at column 10, so just 1 GFI. You're this turn or next, you can score with this player. You don't even have to hand off to the ghoul or the white who can't move anymore. But yeah, we'll see if Mr. Alfonso Martinez can make it all the way by himself. Alright, so the Fireball is apparently tomorrow, Monday, at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, which would like to do commentary for, but that's kind of when the NBFL Super Bowl is, the exact time. So, I love my NCBB, but we gotta be there for the NBFL Super Bowl between Astaflix and his Norse versus Dash and his Chaos Dwarves. Looks like Menno elected not to do the GFI this turn, which you could make a case for either way. I think it's so early in the turn that you didn't want to risk failing that early and have not moved the rest of your team. I don't know. You have the 3 rerolls. It'd be very tempting to do it this turn, but just simple 2+ GFI next turn, right? What's the worst that could happen? Oh, Juggernaut, the NBFL. There's another league on this site that emulates pro football, so the NFL. And a lot of NCBB coaches are also in that one. Myself, Baz, Gark, Wog now, Kazarik, a bunch of others, Nelfine. And the Super Bowl, which is the championship game. Yeah, it's a Fumble League. The championship game's tomorrow at that exact time, so unfortunately we will be covering that one and not the Fireball. But we wish you and the other coach, who I don't remember off the top of my head, luck in the game. If I remember, Juggernaut is the NCBB Union support staff, and you'd be playing against, JR. By all means, if you guys need to play tomorrow, or that's the only time, or just whatever the case, go ahead and play. We don't have to do commentary for all the bowl games. We like to do as many as possible for sure, but Sorry, Garth. There's literally like 12 bowl games outside of like the playoffs and the McNurgle, so it's hard to remember all of them off the top of your head sometimes. But for the game on hand, we'll see what Fool can do here, and his options are pretty limited. Even if you wanted to take this catcher and try to dodge in here or something, there's a tackler right in the way. Hmm. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would say like try some kind of like crazy dodge with this guy, but he's marked by tackle and you have to go through it twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know. I think this is your best play to try to do a 4, 2, come down through here, go for the -2 die, but it doesn't look like that's what he's going for. I mean, it's not a great play, but you could simply do this, go for the blitz on the ghoul, and hopefully roll better than that, but then, you know, get over here and try to stop the werewolf from advancing. But when you roll like that, it's hard to do much of anything. Do not follow that. You want to get away from the werewolf so it doesn't block you an extra time before the half. Looks like Juggernaut's getting out of here. Take care. Have a good night. Alright, so this is pretty simple for Menno. You just move the zombie down here. Or... Okay. Oh, there's a gap here, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay. For some reason, I thought there was a lane you couldn't go through without some effort, but that is not the case. And I swear to God, if you throw a 2-die block with this zombie who doesn't have block... Okay. Alright. GFI successful. Touchdown on the board again for UNAM, so 2-0 before the first half was even over, and it's not great, but it's not over. Now, we've talked a couple times in the chat already about potentially using the Apothecary earlier on one of these catchers, and it'd be very nice to have Movement 9 guy right now, for example. I don't know how adept Fool is at 1 turns or how much practice he has at it. And certainly 2 flesh columns does not make it easy. But he's going to have just like a basic zombie here. So all you need... Oh no, he's going to have a sidestepper there. Okay, so Menno... The smart play here, I mean, it's obviously a bit risky if you lose Elrond to a perm. But if you're trying to win and get to the championship, this is the setup you must have. Is it too risky? I mean, you are up 2-0, but if he does somehow pull off the 1 turn, and then he scores in the second half to make it 2-2, I mean, it's anyone's game, really. All right, we also have a scoring alert. Oregon scores the equalizer 1-1, turn 4 the second half, so the orange ball is tied between 2 very solid programs. They're having a heck of a back-and-forth contest, it looks like. 5 turns, I imagine, for Ottawa to try to win it, or perhaps Oregon to steal it. Maybe literally, maybe figuratively. Alright. Based on his setup, he's got a movement 8 guy. That's double guard, so I imagine based on the fact that both these guys are guard, he's just going to try to block the line of scrimmage, which, I mean, if you get the ghoul out, and maybe you get lucky taking out the AV8 flesh golem, I mean, you could set yourself up for a pretty good second half, but Granted, I mean, I think with the two sidesteppers, or sorry, two stand firm and one sidestep, trying to do any kind of one turn here would just be too much of a headache. Uh-oh. Hyperbolemer steps in and says, shallow kick blitz for Crichton. Those feisty Oregon Ducks. And Fool does not get the clock turn back, so he'll have to settle for some blocks on line of scrimmage. I'd be very tempted to foul that ghoul. You only have 10 players. But man. Granted, I think if it was 1-1 or just 1-0, it's more viable because he'll need the ball carrier in theory. Granted, again, he has 2 AG4 werewolves. We'll see. I mean, he's certainly set up for the possibility. Mighty blow against AV8 Golem, and he gets badly hurt, but he does regenerate, so first regen I've seen work today. And based on that, it looks like we're going to get what we want, or at least somebody in the stands was cheering for this. They did a little stomp emote. Gark just straight out. It was me. Ah. Nothing going, just a mere stun. Is that our first foul in this game? Let me check real quick. That is indeed our first foul. So if anybody had the bet for St. Louis throwing the first foul, which I would not have taken, you won money. If you had the under on number of fouls thrown in the first half at like anything below 2.5, which I also would not have taken, you won that bet. So that's a bit surprising, but if you're up 2-0, I think UNAM will take it. They may not win the fouling war, but they may win the game. And sometimes that's even better. Just sometimes, though. Freshman confirming that Oregon does get a blitz after a shallow kick, so it's one of those things where whenever you kick short, you're obviously hoping for the blitz. Sometimes you want to kick deep to the corner too, depending on the team you play. But we'll see here. Fool and St. Louis can rebound after not a great first half, but certainly not out of it. Oregon has possession of the ball. Uh-oh. Maybe we're doing the wrong game. I don't know. That one's getting mighty interesting. And Fool asks for 60 seconds to be right back. Potentially, it's pizza time. I'm assuming that's what it is based on the fact he mentioned it earlier, so we shall see. I wonder if he'll describe the pizza to us, because, I don't know, I've kind of been craving pizza the last couple of days. I keep seeing commercials for, like, the Pizza Hut, like, triple threat box or something. It's got, like, 2 pizzas, and the bottom layer is, like, cinnamon sticks and breadsticks and stuff. I'm like, Of course, I've yet to see a price in any of those commercials. It's very convenient. But I may have to settle for a frozen Red Baron personal pizza tonight. All right. Freshman reporting that even after a successful blitz to sack the ball carrier, the ball scatters back into another Elven catcher's hands. Ottawa is in trouble. Uh-oh. It was looking so good for them just a few minutes ago. Welcome, Doc.
Hey. I thought I'd just join to see what the heck's going on. I was a little bit late to everything, but, I was just getting food.
All right, nothing wrong with food. We've got not one, but 2 bowl games going right now. We've got the Orange Bowl, which Freshman is reporting from because our focus is on the playoff semifinal between number 1 UNAM and number 4 St. Louis.
Yeah.
But it sounds like the Orange Bowl is more entertaining than this game, so I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, it's tied right now. Kind of looking at it, I was a bit curious.
Yeah, freshman's kind of been giving us the not quite a play-by-play, but all the big moments. So he just told us about the short kick and the blitz where Oregon stole the ball back. So we'll see if Crichton can, do the elf thing and get out of there with a dub.
That is true. Yeah. I mean, actually, man. Oh, I think what happened, it was like a cruddy block just happened for the undead. It looks like
Classic.
there was a both down and they both just whacked each other. So now it's in the elves' hands. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Oregon. Which is terrifying because that means the agility 5 player can kind of do what he wants right now. Run wild.
Looks like Jackass is confirming that they're going to move the Fireball to Tuesday to avoid conflicting with the Super Bowl. Good news. Granted, I don't know my schedule for Tuesday, so I may not even be around to do commentary, but hopefully Bazakistine or maybe even Apajar will have some free time if I'm not available. Regardless, we've got a game in front of us where Fool's got to find a way to get back in it.
Yeah, he's like 0-2 right now. It's kind of not great.
Yeah, UNAM scored early on turn 3. Werewolf went like 10 squares after a couple players got removed, decided to go for the early score, and then he got a perfect defense against a very aggressive high elf setup where everybody was on the
Yep.
line except the throwers, and so they were all locked down. The elves kind of struggled to break away from that, and then a desperation pass was dropped by a catcher, went right to a werewolf behind him, and the werewolf was able to take it all the way in 2 turns.
Yeah. Oh.
Breaking
Also, I guess,
news. Go ahead.
yeah, Oregon's 2-1 now.
Uh-oh,
Dang.
defensive touchdown for the Ducks. I mean, Waterfowl technically is Crichton's team name, but
Well, I mean, it's better to talk about the Mighty Ducks than just like the Mighty Waterfowls.
I mean, you better put some respect on the Waterfowls. They have more titles than the rest of us combined, it seems like. I think Crichton's got like 5. It's just been a while, so people newer to the league may not remember.
Well, that's definitely very worthy of respect. Gotta respect that.
Yeah, he told me one time it kind of felt like he was the final boss of the NCBB because he would just get to half the title games, and sometimes he'd win them, sometimes he would lose them, but he had won like 4 to 5 of them, so that's someone's got to be Bowser, right?
That's true.
Not everybody can be Mario,
No.
and some of us are Princess Peach.
I'd probably say I'm a little bit in the Princess Peach category for this season. I've been pretty much helpless except for one player actually doing work for the day.
Well, sometimes that's all you need. Looks like freshman stating that's 4 turns for Ottawa to try to tie it up and get into overtime, which, as bowl games, they are single elimination tournaments, so there is overtime in all bowl games.
Yeah, which I think he definitely needs it right now, because, boy, we had freaking Palin Lath do the leap over the defense and then score for the second touchdown.
All right. Speaking of the Mario references, Hyper is saying some of us are the first Goomba in the first level on Mario. I suppose that's true too. Some days you're the Goomba, some days you're doing the Goomba stomp.
Yeah. Some days you're doing the run and some days you're doing the stomping. Exactly. Oh. Yeah.
All right, looks like Fool is officially back with pizza and a drink.
Neat. Wait, who is that?
We missed our earlier discussion about pizza and pineapple and thin crust pizza, so Fool hasn't told us what his pizza of choice is, but there's some right answers and some wrong answers. We don't need to go in it again.
I'm gonna go with whatever has sausages and jalapenos on it.
Okay.
It's a requirement.
Oh. Ottawa Mummy angrily, badly hurts another lineman. Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, I mean, it. For a second, I thought it was the 5 agility guy, right? I think.
He's got like 3 of them, so. Alright, here's
Yeah,
a riot. And again, let's call it aggressive setup by the High Elves. You are leaving yourself vulnerable to a perfect defense, which is the exact same thing that happened in the first half, and it's why you're down 0-2 potentially. If you just had
ooh,
the catchers and the one lino up here one back, a perfect defense where Menno stacks the line would be difficult, but not as difficult because you're not doing those 3 extra dodges. And you could fall
yeah,
backwards if you wanted to and make them come to you. Or, just so you're not locked up literally 9 players across the board.
true. I mean, I've been devastated. I mean, everybody gets devastated if there's a perfect defense.
Yeah, I'm very glad that's one of the changes they made to the kickoff table. I think it's what 3 plus D3 now or something.
Yeah, they made it a lot harder for the events to just kind of mess up.
Win the game. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, because at times, I mean, it just wins you the game if you get a good blitz or a perfect defense. Oh.
Yeah, I know. I used to play against Jr. Jackass Rampant in the NBFL, and he had a very good lean orc team that was literally like block, mighty blow, guard, tackle, stand firm across the board. Like all the Bobs had it, all the Blitzers had it, and I played Dark Elves. And if he ever got a perfect defense, like I didn't set up quite as aggressively on the line of scrimmage as Fool did, for example. But my team was like it felt like I was locked in place, and there's just a giant green wall of muscle and block and stand firm and AV9 in front of me. I'm like, how do I get through this? Like it was very very difficult.
Yeah, it's impossible at that point. Because it's like you're just having to. You're forced to do something you're not supposed to usually do as elves, which is just blocking people way above your weight limit.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Hyper pointing out in the chat that perfect defense is now D3 plus 3 open players, so that's a very important distinction. Players cannot be in contact.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's a very important distinction.
I think Blitz is similar to where it's like D3 plus 3 open or something. I forget exactly. I've skimmed the rulebook. I'm still in wait and see mode about it. I'm excited for some of the changes. I'm not sure how ranked and box are going to be. I know a lot of people are dreading the 1300 or 1350 rebuy system. They think it's probably too low, and it may prove to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have to see what actually happens because there's, you have a what you would. Oh my gosh, you would have. I don't know why I'm having a brain fart right now. I'm just trying to see. Um, okay, I'm trying to say. Look, whatever you think in your head, whatever's the reality, and whatever actually happens, is going to be a lot different. So you get the full picture and all that.
I mean, even coaches who have played thousands of games on Fumble or just Blood Bowl in general,
Yeah.
it's theory crafting works to an extent, and you can envision how your team might look after like 2 seasons of redraft and rebuy. But until you like get in there and do it, like it's like game developers. They put all these like skill trees and builds in the game, and then 2 weeks in, there's like just this clearly like broken ability that they like glossed over somehow, and everybody's using it. And they're just like, how did we miss that combination? You're like, well, no one thought of it, or no one saw like the use from that angle or perspective. So,
Oh yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna see how it goes. Yeah.
I think humans are going to be very good in the rule set, and I haven't played humans in a while. I've done a lot of lizards. I've done a lot of dark elves. I've played more weird races recently. I've done corn, frogs. I played some black arc, which is a secret league roster in the secret league. But
Yeah.
good old humans might be the way to go.
I think so too. I mean, the humans are definitely going to be a lot more interesting, especially with the passing rules now.
Yeah, some of those I'm very interested to see how they work, like running pass and all these other cool things.
Oh no, I'm ready for it because I love me some passing games. I know they're supposed to be used for desperation plays, but I mean, come on. You gotta go for the glory sometimes. Go big or go home.
Exactly. Freshman reporting that Otto was doing a Kansas City shuffle, distracting elves to the left, but then going to the right with a very solid sideline cage plus defensive screen. So perhaps the elves are getting out positioned, and Ottawa might take it in for a touchdown to tie it up, but we'll see.
I don't know. It looks like there could I mean, they need to tie this half to even get to overtime, so we'll see what the heck happens with that.
In front of us here, both teams have a bribe. Both teams have 4 rerolls. It's turn 3 of the second half, so you don't have to score this turn or next, but you've got to score probably turn 5 at the latest. If you give yourself 3 turns to get a defensive turnover and score, I think you have a decent chance. If you're down to 2 turns, it's very difficult to send people down and not just look like you're just scrambling.
Yeah, because I mean, he doesn't have to score now, but I do agree that he will have to score on turn 5 at, I think, the latest. It depends on what the heck happens right now, because it seems like there's a bunch of marked elves that are in scoring position.
The good thing is, well, I probably wouldn't have started with that move since he doesn't have dodge. I was about to say the other 2 elves, the blitzer at the bottom and the catcher in the middle, are not marked by tackle, albeit the catcher has kind of got a difficult road out with a 3.
Yeah.
And is that a 4? 2 players?
Oh boy.
And that guy was marked by tackle. Granted,
yes, he was.
The 3+ with a reroll is not crazy, but it's not ideal. So the problem is now that you've failed that, literally the rest of your team, especially the ones in scoring position, are locked up, and so they're going to end up on their butts or on the bench or in the box.
Yeah, there's some real bad pain that's about to happen right now.
Well,
or maybe not.
Yes, assuming you get the dice.
Yeah. I mean, this one could be pretty bad.
I mean, if he stays on his feet, though, and you get pushed northeast, and then maybe northeast again? Because I don't think you can force a 1 die here or anything. Okay.
Oh, boy. He did not re-roll it.
A little surprising. I don't think you need to, but...
I mean, it's still going to be hard to just get over to that catcher where he is now. A little bit.
I do think the Ghoul Elrond could have been southeast 1 more and tagged both of them. Obviously, that opens him up to being like blitz through, but he's a blodge stepper, so it's not easy, even if both the elves are tackle.
Yeah, I agree. He does need to kind of mark a little bit more guys. Could easily go for that.
He could be setting up for a foul, though, potentially. I'm not sure you need to.
But it's fun.
Yeah, it can work.
Gotta go for yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7. It's a little dangerous to follow up on that one because he's not marked by tackle, and if you just dodge, yeah, there's the foul. Although I'm not sure why you did it in the tackle zone. Couldn't you have gone north? Whatever. I think the blitzer at the bottom, you've got to go for the score this turn. So either you dodge out here on a 2 and go for the end zone, but that's a long pass.
I know
you can hand off to the other thrower. He can advance past midfield, so it's not terrible. Or
I mean,
use the blitzer at the bottom, 2+, 2+, walks in without having to GFI. I think that's my play. I want to go the blitzer, dodge southwest, go southeast, dodge through, go to the end zone.
I think that's a good idea.
Hope for the best.
Well, yeah, let's see what he does right now. Is he going to try to wait it out a little bit more, or is he going to just go for it?
Freshman reporting that the Ottawa Ghoul is in scoring range. Elves somehow caught on the wrong foot. Very likely turn 8 score in overtime, potentially in the orange. Oh my god, he's not going to hand off to the thrower.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Let's
kind of surprised by that
1,
too.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, if you ran somebody to the end zone and tried to throw it with the thrower, I don't think he has the range to make it.
I don't think he
So
does.
yeah, either he's going to somehow try to free up a tackle zone off the catcher and throw it to him on the 3+ with a reroll, or I mean, you could throw it to Walter J. Ong at the bottom in 3 tackle zones and just get a 5 or a 6 and then dodge away and in. But I don't know. I mean, again, he doesn't actually have to try to score this turn if he doesn't want to, but I would move the ball forward some to make the next throw or the throw on the next turn easier. And you shouldn't likely be. I mean, granted, both werewolves are AG4.
I know one of them's movement busted. Wait,
True.
no.
Yeah,
Wait.
the middle
No, I get that.
one's the middle one's moving busted. So this guy can go like up and around the bottom, but
I guess the real threat is kind of Alfonso because he's 9 movement.
yeah, it's a nice player.
Yeah.
Where's
Very nice.
where is he
So,
going with this?
I don't know. Oh my gosh. Also, I just realized, man, I don't know how Ottawa's going to get through this defense also for the Elves. Kind of looking at both.
It's probably like a double stack.
I guess so. I guess we're about to see what the heck happens here.
Well, we're gonna find out what Fool's got going. He's gonna blitz a zombie and play for next turn, it seems.
Yeah.
Also, hyper pointing out that you have to be at your own column 12 to be at max range for the end zone. So with the double GFI, he could have potentially made that throw, albeit not an easy one.
Ottawa's going into overtime. They were able to make it.
Nice.
Dang.
Oh, he's going for the touchdown this turn. We were wrong.
He is. Oh, shiz.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
He drops it, goes to the zombie, it goes back to Erwin Klagert, and he gets into the end zone. Oh my. That deserves a shocking one.
Some soft claps from me. I can't give them too hard because, you gotta hate those elves and all that.
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah.
Apparently Ottawa, like you said, does get the game in overtime on some shenanigans, and both teams have one reroll. And that coin toss could be the most important roll left in the game.
It could be, because boy, that's like a pretty intense game right there. The Elves are down quite a few players because of the injuries that Ottawa's been able to inflict in the later half.
9
The later part of
L's,
the second
full in bed. Alright. Looks like Fool still got 10 players of his own. This game's certainly not over either. Pretty solid average setup. I think I would separate the line of scrimmage. I mean, it doesn't matter as much because the 2 flesh golems can just always throw a 2-die. But
yeah.
Ottawa wins the coin toss, and that's not ideal. They're already up 2 players. They're going to get some blocks on the line, get a foul, although I'd be shocked if they had a foul left to give, if I'm being honest. But,
I mean, yeah. Traditionally, it seems like freaking Ottawa just fouls a bunch of people, is what I've kind of noticed watching their games.
Das Boot.
And yeah. Okay, so dang, I still don't know how would Fool possibly be able to just score another touchdown, really? Because he has to steal the ball back.
Yeah, a failed pickup would be very helpful. I mean, if he's using the ghoul, it's agility 3 sure hands, which is not automatic as human coaches, lizard coaches, orc coaches, like anybody who's got agility 3 player with sure hands will tell you that shit fails when like you need it the most.
Yeah, honestly, I've had that happen to me too. It happens where you think you're gonna be able to pick it up because it has sure hands, and it's like, oh well, shit, I rolled 2 1s or 2 2s in a row.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're like 86%. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, 86 doesn't mean 100% chance. So
it's true. 86% of the time, 100% of the time, right?
Yeah, just like 1% doesn't mean 0%. You can still do it.
Very
You
true.
shouldn't really, but eh.
All right. Werewolves safe and secure. Only one guy back, which I don't love, but
You know.
see, this just screams for like a blitz. But
Yeah.
unless the kick goes like a short punt, kind of like exactly how it went in the Oregon Ottawa game in the second half, which it doesn't quite. Certainly don't get the blitz, but I mean a failed pickup right there, and the ball's within range.
Yeah, it's in range of like quite a few players to pick it up on the elf team, or the high elves, I should say. There's two. Actually. I mean, if we're being honest, it's high elves on one side for a game and high elves on another side for a game. I got to be more specific. I guess fools high elves.
True.
But that's true. Actually, you got yours into overtime. Yeah. I mean, this one. I guess this one, it's like we're having an elf team go into overtime. And I just also realized we technically just have like two undead teams and two high elf teams. This was another, well, I say undead, necromantic.
Team with like zombies and shit.
Yeah, I mean, still. But it's pretty close to just being just two. I don't want to say mirror match. I'm just struggling to figure out what I would call it. Just very similar.
Good versus
I guess.
evil.
And
the elves are obviously the evil one.
Well, yes, clearly. Yeah, always evil. This tricksy elves. Eh.
That's the great thing about UNAM's position right now. They don't have to score. They just cage up the ball and sit there. They're good.
Yeah, the pressure's not on them. It's on the Fool right now to do some big plays because he needs it.
Yeah, that successful pickup helps. You could.
Yeah.
You could probably go forward. I might just go. Yeah, that's fine. I was gonna say go back. He probably can't reach you. Those zombies have been very successful in their blocks today, and 2 stuns is very detrimental to what Fool wants to do.
Yeah, it limits his options. Definitely.
The best thing Minnow did was get that tackle flush column on 2 elves, and so either he's gonna have to commit a player down here and try to throw a block on a stand firm guy, and get pushes, and then the second guy throws a block, and he gets like a both down, and then you throw a third block, and you finally get him down, but you have 3 players tied up, or he tries to dodge away, and the first one rolls a 1 because of course it does. So that's just how it goes sometimes.
That's true. Very, very true. Guess I'm kind of also looking at what the heck's going on, because we technically have two. We have 2 games where it's like, man, they're kind of intense. I mean, right now it's more of, well, Fool has to figure out how to get the ball and to apply any kind of pressure in the next couple of turns. And I guess we have the problem of, well, how are the elves for Oregon going to be able to just grab the ball from a cage of the undead? I mean, that's pretty hard if they cage up by the mummies.
Yeah.
Well, it could happen.
I'm trying to think of what Fool's options are. I don't think you can or even need to take a shot this turn. So what do? You can't really hit a werewolf. You could just set up a double stack at the top, but you don't really even need to double stack. Like you have to somehow get to the ball. So how do you force Minnow to, I don't know, give you the opportunity really? Like where and when can you force this play?
Yeah, I've been trying to figure that out too because he has. I mean, he could have had more options if he didn't have two STEM players, which does suck. I guess it. I don't know if you can apply pressure this turn, but you could try to reposition
Mm-hmm.
like some guys over on the left to start going more in the middle of the field for UNAM, maybe.
Looks like freshmen's declaring that Ottawa's getting ready to try to win the game early in overtime, so Oregon's now or never mode.
Yeah, I'm seeing it right now, and I mean this is a pretty tough cage. They gotta do something too. They want to try to steal that ball away from. Oh right, I forgot. Julian Starr got
Yep.
horribly named. So now it's this Michelle Lowen. Am I saying that right?
I think so. That's a hell of a player.
Yeah. I mean, jeez.
I think tied for the nation lead in touchdowns this season with like 16. I forget the exact stats. I need to do the award voting sometime this week.
Yeah. Oh, dang. The Elves are trying to go after the ball, and they weren't able to do it, and they used their last reroll.
Oof.
Well,
But they popped it?
shiz. Yeah, they have no rerolls now.
Yeah.
If it's only like turn 2 of overtime. But I don't know. He's applied some pressure, but that could easily be blocked off. Oh,
Pow needed but not found. Classic.
yeah. Yeah. Also, speaking of which, we just had an elf just try to dodge, and he knocked himself out. So that's even less players to try to put up the defense.
Classic elves.
Yeah. I mean, ugh. The elves just look like they're just having a tough time. They have 3 badly hurts, an injured catcher. A blitzer was the guy who got knocked out with the dodge. His... Oh, I thought he had dodge. He has guard and tackle. So, yeah, that was going to kind of suck. Oh, boy. I don't know. Maybe the situation could change a little bit. You know, you still gotta push all these guys out of the way
Yeah.
that are marking the ball. Oh, okay, never mind. I just realized the the Michelle Lowen's ghoul has sidestep. I don't know how I didn't see that earlier.
Yeah, that makes it a little tougher.
Yeah. Oh boy. I guess my question is like, how is he? He doesn't really have anybody to kind of cage the ball. Actually, I noticed.
That is one thing about cage style teams. Sometimes you have that turn where you have to do so many things that you forget to dedicate 4 players for cage corners.
Yeah.
And you're like over halfway through your turn and you go to pick up the ball and then you like look around, you're like, oh, where do I go with it?
Yeah. Let me see. Does he have any more guard players? I'm talking about like Oregon. Does he have any more guard players? Because maybe he could do something? No. Oh, never mind. Okay. Nope. Had enough movement. It's a 3-2 now. Just 3 for Oregon and 2 for. No, sorry. 3 for Ottawa and 2 for Oregon.
I was about to say, wait, what?
Yeah, sorry. No, that would be a complete reversal.
Yeah.
Look, this is why I'm not the newscaster. Why I kind of just stick to punching people in the face.
Hey, I got real intrigued there for a couple seconds, so sometimes it's a good thing. Orange Bowl
Yeah.
victory for Ottawa over Oregon in overtime. So that seemed like it was a heck of a game and a bit unfortunate we couldn't do coverage for that one. But we'll see what the rest of this game has in store for us. In football terms, we'd have about a quarter left, so
Yeah, well.
no time like the present.
Well, it did. I mean, I may not have seen the first half of this game, but it definitely got really crazy at the end. It's just the elves just kept getting hammered. Like those later injuries were enough to, I think, turn the tide. And then just getting, well, just getting like KO'd on touches was just not great. It's not great at the right time.
No, that's not a good
Oh,
formula. Alright, so full electing to try to block that flesh golem and free up the two players, but couldn't do it on the first block and had to burn a reroll in the second one. And well, I mean that's a huge stun because that frees up three of them. I was about to say like all three are going to be tied up by one guy, so I would have probably blitzed out of it to reposition.
yeah.
But you got the stun, so
I mean, whatever works, whatever works. But he still needs to figure out a way to just like get the ball from that ghoul. Speaking of, other ghouls that didn't get a touchdown. Yeah. Or okay, not a touchdown for this game, but this general.
I don't think we've seen a single surf so far today. It's a little disappointing.
Oh, from either team?
Yeah, I mean the high elves don't have like the tools for that per se, but the werewolves haven't really had a chance. There was one potential time in the first half, but they rolled a both down where they were trying to push somebody into the second row away. So
Yeah. Okay.
didn't quite get it, but
Yeah.
Sir William Marshall with a very nice casualty there. Just a badly hurt, but
So, I mean, at this point, you kind of need every player you can get right now.
yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 elves, plenty. I remember. I think Wog has said that Gark said this before, which is confusing, but I believe Gark said at one point, you only need 2 elves on the field, one to throw the ball, one to catch the ball, and that's all you need to score. So 9 elves is plenty.
I mean, yeah. I mean, well, elves are one of those teams where you don't really need that many. You just need your key players, and then you're fine. Yeah. It's just, I guess, I'm saying, well, actually, you could still do it. It's just, there's not. You just gotta cause some kind of breakthrough. And let's see if he moves forward.
Appreciate the fine sideline reporting, freshman. I mean, you do have a cage opportunity. I was going to go one lower, but
yeah.
I mean, you could move the zombie up, move the werewolf there, so this should work.
Yeah, he's still fine.
Oh, he's going for the foul.
Jeez.
And then you move the zombie up here. Or you don't. I mean, it'd be so difficult to get through here.
Yeah, this is just looking worse and worse right now.
Okay, you've got 3 players at the bottom. 2 have guard. All 3 are blodgers. I think the play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. We need to get our guard blitzer up here in between the golem and the zombie up top, and then another assist on the zombie to make it a 2-die. Block him, take him down, and then you have to sneak the strength 4 thrower through on some silly 3+, 2+, whatever dodges. And you have a 2-die shot on the ball, albeit it's a blodger. But I think that's your only play here.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a chance to get the ball right now. Let's just see if he does it. Or he takes the shot.
He might be taking the tackle sidestep catcher, blitzing the werewolf, and then tagging the ball, which isn't bad, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough.
No, I feel like.
Oh, he's gonna try to go through and around. And you have dodge still.
He does.
Although,
Oh.
I mean, that's tough. The 3+ with the reroll versus the 2+ dodge, and then you'd have to GFI once. I think the 3+ with the dodge, since he still had it, was the right call. I mean, like we said earlier, it's like 86% or whatever.
Yeah.
Just didn't work out.
No, because that was like 2 2s in a row. Terrible, which is not great. Because now they have free reign.
Yeah, you just run to the bottom and you should be relatively safe.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I guess what Fool has to hope for now is if there's just kind of a screw up from the necromantic team.
Yeah, if their positioning isn't on point, or they, roll poorly on a block or something.
Yeah, they have not been rolling poorly on their blocks so far.
Now, although if I was Minnow, I'd probably be sure to move the ball first because he's still marked by a tackler, and
is he trying to foul him?
Yeah, probably.
Because how much does he have? He has like 3.
He's only done 2.
He's done 2, so he has 2 more then. I guess.
And I guess if you move the zombie, you're still relatively safe, and well, there's another badly hurt, so that's probably gonna be it for this game.
I think so. Yeah. I know what he's talking about. It's a trap. Is it a trap because he was so tantalizing just there on the ground? It's like my zombie just had to hit him and give him a boot to the head.
I thought he was referring to that one die attempt on the backside where, maybe Minnow left it there with like the 3 difficult dodges to get through, because if you do fail, you pretty much lose the game. But again, I mean, I think Fool at this point obviously had to do something. He's losing, so.
Yeah. He's kind of he's a big old miracle. He needs to pray to Nuffle right now to just figure out how he's going to get him out of this.
Well, if he does want to win this game somehow, he's got to get somebody in scoring position this turn, which is easier said than done. You've got 2 players left standing. So you've got to either get the catcher or the thrower. It's not going to be the thrower at this point.
Nope. I feel like it'd have to be O'Neal who tries to do something. If he wants to try to tie.
Yeah, but even if you get him downfield, Minnow can literally just go to the bottom or somewhere here.
Oh, jeez.
And yeah, I wouldn't suggest failing an easy dodge, but
yeah, no, that's I think that guy is gonna probably get a good talking to by his coach right now.
Yeah.
And I'm messing that up.
All right, it was a very fine season for St. Louis. I believe there were 7-1-2. They gave a good effort today, but just came up short in a couple turns, and it's been all UNAM since. So.
Yeah. Although I will say that pass was very impressive.
Yeah, that was a fun sequence.
Yeah, that was a very impressive pass.
But, I guess the question is, does Minnow go for a score here? You've got 45 SPPs on the werewolf Alfonso. I think he needs another touchdown and hopefully an MVP, and he would get another skill before the next game. Which
would be very good, honestly. You kind of want that.
Yeah, probably plus strength or something,
Yeah, totally. Just help round things out a little bit more.
Yeah, there's no point really of scoring with Elrond anymore. I'm not sure if he's a senior or whatever, but he can't help your team with more SPPs, so get it to the werewolf in theory. I'm not sure you need to throw a foul here if that's what he's doing.
Oh, I mean, no. Or, I don't know, maybe? Yeah. Just to... Oh, he's doing it.
It's not really necessary. You've already won the game.
He's just doing it for that disrespect. You know, you need a good villain
Yeah. I mean,
for
technically, could he
him.
like roll a bunch of 5s and 6s and get down there and pop the ball free? I mean, technically, sure, but he wouldn't be able to score after that. So I don't know.
No,
I'm not a big fan
I
of
mean,
fouls like that. The only thing he would do would be hurt his team long term.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, and in return, we could do some crazy sequence where you kill the werewolf, but he doesn't reroll it.
no.
Not sure why you wouldn't, but oh
I
well.
mean, I wasn't expecting that to work, honestly, just considering how the other dodges have gone.
Yeah, I mean a 4+ with the rerolls 75%, and there's another casualty just because. So
Well, it's
I mean,
more of just
granted,
like,
now Miguelito is a MVP away from another skill too. So I mean, that could be big if he snags it or the werewolf snags it.
yeah, there's a couple of good players that could snag that MVP and just to get it rushed up. Well,
That is it for this game. UNAM wins 3-1 over St. Louis, and they'll advance to the national championship game to face some lizard team coached by some guy. Me.
that sounds like a very intense match
Yeah.
right there. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me, Doc. I know Freshman was here as well, giving us our sideline reports. Wog was
Hey,
here earlier. Gark was here earlier. Now Meadows here. What's up, dude?
Hey.
up pitch soon.
Sorry, one more time.
See you on the pitch of blood and glory soon. You're
Yes,
in the
sir.
final, right?
Yes, sir. Let me.
Yeah, I hope you don't roll like, oh my god, you bloody lizard. Oh, what did you do to him?
I don't know. I see more blood on your field than I did on mine.
No,
I
I
know
don't.
that
It
was a
was just
bloodbath.
BH Archie, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
BH
none of
Archie.
the. I mean, there's. Oh my god, there's 7 badly hurts. What the? So yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
every
badly hurts aren't
positional
bad,
wanted one.
I guess. All right, let me finish this broadcast. Let's see. We said the score. We said the teams. UNAM advances. So thank you to everybody who is watching now and in the future. We will catch you in the future for more bowl games.